Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. Today I have a what to put for touch-ups in your on-the-go makeup bag. So this is what I would pack for my everyday touch-ups. I don't mean every day actually. This would be if I was going to like an all-day wedding, if I was taking a day trip somewhere, and I just wanted something for touch-ups. This is not for a full on-the-go makeup look. This is literally if I did my makeup previously early in the morning and to last me throughout the day for touch-ups. Of course, some ways that you do your makeup, and I will do a separate video on that for how to make your face last longer. That's going to affect it as well, but there's nothing like doing regular touch-ups throughout the day to make your makeup just look so much fresher and so beautiful and polished. So without further ado, we can hop right in. And I'm gonna start by telling you guys that I have had on my makeup for a few hours now. So my skin, just from all of the emotions and everything, you can tell I do have some lines going on very faintly in my forehead. It just happens no matter what you do. You can set your face, whatever, and it will still happen. So what I have in here for that is I have a couple of brushes. So I want to show you the brushes that I have in here. I have just like a regular old buffing brush. I have a brush for my contour, and then I have a brush for my blush. So this one, I'm not going to add any product on here, nothing at all. And what I'm going to do is wherever I'm experiencing creasing, it doesn't matter where it is, whether it be on around your mouth and your chin, under your eyes, anywhere, doesn't matter. What you can do is you can take a brush or you can take a sponge, anything that you want to do, and just pat those right in. And again, I'm not adding any product at all. Right now what I'm doing is I'm working with the product that is already on my face, and I'm just smoothing it. I'm just buffing it. So we're just going to pat, pat, pat anywhere that I think I might have a few creases. I didn't apply, so I tend to not need so much buffing for my creases because I don't add that much product into my skin routine, into my foundation and concealer routine. So I don't typically get that buildup of product as bad as it could be if I was using a lot of foundation to begin with. But that's it, that's all we're going to do. You can even blend a little bit like that. And so now, depending on how intense your creases were or anything like that, is going to depend now on whether or not we reset. And this is also going to depend on how oily your skin gets. So luckily my skin doesn't get very oily, so I am going to personally skip this step, but I'm going to tell you guys about it so that if you do have these problems, no matter what, you will be able to fix them. So buff it first, and that's also going to kind of blend and pat down that extra oil from your skin a little bit. So it's gonna help this go on a lot smoother, and you're not gonna have those clumps of like oily patches, if that makes sense. So you're gonna take your translucent powder and just the same, like barely anything, and you're just going to pat it onto your skin. My skin will dry out if I add any more of the setting powder, so that's why I'm personally skipping it. But you can apply this all over your face. Just go right over your concealer, your contour, your blush, everything. Just go right over it. Just wherever you pat it out, wherever you have any sort of issues, just go right over it. Do not stress, we're gonna fix that. The next thing that I have in my bag, you guys, is that I have this beautiful bronzer just palette. You can get any small bronzer palette that you want. I'm just using drugstore products for most of this. I do have some higher end products in here, but this is just for touch-ups. This isn't for a full face. So I personally like to use drugstore products for touch-ups rather than my higher end products because these are easier to travel with. They're usually much more compact and you can just like throw them in your purse, whereas my more expensive palettes tend to be a little bit larger for the most part, not all of them. So that's why I didn't pack any eyeshadow in here because we're really not gonna need any eyeshadow. If anything, bring an eyeshadow brush. And if you experience any creasing or anything like that, you can just buff it out. Of course, it is not going to look exactly how it did if you decide to buff it out as you first did it. It's not gonna be perfect, but this is just for like touch-ups so that you don't have creases in your eyes or anything like that. So if you do have extremely oily lids or anything, I wouldn't suggest adding more shadow, just smooth it out with the brush. And so now we're gonna be just taking our contour and our bronzer, and we're just going to be going right over everything, because if you went over with the setting powder and with the clean brush and buff that out a little bit, you're taking those oils from your skin and also that makeup that you had in the first place, and you're actually just blending it onto your contour and your blush and your bronzer and everything, all the work that you did before when you buff out those lines and you buff out those creases. So you want to add that pigment back in there and add a little bit more of that definition, because you're really blurring and softening those lines. It's not going to make it look, it's not gonna make it completely go away, but it will make it a lot softer. Trust me, on this one, it will make it a lot softer. So another thing that I have in here, that you can do this really at any point. This is especially true if you are wearing a lot of eyeshadow or you're wearing darker eyeshadow. I have Q-tips, and Q-tips are something that you should have with you all the time, no matter what, everywhere. I just think that these things are like the best thing ever. You can get them super cheap in small packets and larger packets, and just like throw a elastic around them like I am. But what tends to happen a lot of times, no matter what, especially if you are tight lining, is you get black into the corners of your eyes. So you can just fix that just like that. Just very gently twist. And this is like perfect for like a wedding day, a day if you're spending it out in the city somewhere and you're going away. These are like all you need in your bag to have perfect, flawless makeup throughout the day. And you might not even have to touch up as much as I'm touching up right now. It just depends on your skin. And so the same thing with blush, you guys, is that you would just go over your blush one more time if you feel like you need it and you buffed out some of those areas. And that's really it. I would not apply any more mascara. I would apply lipstick. However, I would make sure first that all of the areas around your lipstick are clean. So you can take that buffing brush. So say you ate something or you were drinking or you're just talking all day and your lipstick is a little bit smudged or anything, it's totally fine. Definitely all you have to do is just take a sponge. I like to use these sponges because you can like fold them flat, or you can just use the corner like this. You can also use a brush for this, but I personally prefer a sponge. And you can just go swoop, swoop, swoop. And then what that does is it gives you such a clean, nice base to reapply whatever lipstick you are using that day. And especially, oh my gosh, with dark lipstick, this is like the trick. You can also use the Q-tips if you wanted to, but just be aware that depending on the pressure and depending on how oily your skin is, it's probably gonna take off a decent amount of product. So just re-buff that in if you're gonna be using the Q-tips. And then you can just apply your lipstick as normal. But you guys, that is really it. That is all you need for daily touch-ups. Of course, there are ways, like I said before, to make your makeup last longer. But this is all you need. This is all you need. Don't bring any of your eyeshadows. You don't have to bring any extra mascara. I definitely would recommend waterproof mascara if you were going somewhere all day long. So, or you have a special occasion where you're gonna be dancing and sweating and anything. Waterproof mascara is always, in my opinion, the way to go. It just lasts so much longer no matter what. It is beautiful, and I love waterproof mascara. So that is all you need, you guys. You don't need any extra foundation. You don't need any extra concealer. All you need is that powder, these brushes, and anything else that I just showed you guys in this bag. I know it's like actually so easy. And to make things even easier on yourself, if you don't want to have a whole entire setting powder, you can go to the drugstore. I wouldn't recommend this one, but you can get a different one. And they have these like packs of setting powder that you can get. Oh my God, if I could open this correctly. And it comes with a little mirror also, and a place for the sponge came with it right over here. So this is also perfect, extremely convenient. And I really hope that this video was helpful for you guys, because I could have used this video. I could have used this video. Like, if I wasn't so into makeup and I wasn't familiar with the products and how to keep everything really clean throughout the day, I would be seriously struggling, because my skin, it gets oily, but then it gets dry, and then it's just a mess. I have all these lines, but now after even just doing those a few short steps, my makeup is looking like as flawless as it was when I first applied it, which is really important to me, obviously, because I should have good makeup. if I'm a makeup artist, I should like the makeup that I have. So if you also wanted to, you could bring an eyebrow pencil. It depends on how oily your skin gets. If your skin does get oily around your T-zone especially, definitely I would recommend bringing an eyebrow pencil. Just make sure that it's clean. You can use those Q-tips, you can use the sponge, anything that you want, just around your eyebrows. You don't have to go you don't have to go like right on top of them and take off all the product that you have on already. You can just simply clean up the edges the same way that we did with our lips, and then apply the pencil from there. It really does make a huge, huge, huge difference if you have some things to clean up with. So whether that be sponge, Q-tips, anything, it makes a really big difference. And that's it. That's all I have for you guys today. I really hope that this was helpful for you. I know it would be helpful. I'm trying to make things as helpful as I possibly can for you guys. So if you enjoyed this type of content and you feel like supporting me and my channel, you can definitely give it a big thumbs up for me. That would be so great. And hit that big old subscribe button so that we don't miss out on each other in the future. And thank you so much again for hanging out with me. I'll see you guys next time.